Hello, I'm the Trek Lad, arbiter of good Star Trek, and this is my review of the first season episode of Star Trek The Original Series, Space Seed. In this episode, the Enterprise discovers an ancient Earth ship holding genetically engineered superhumans frozen in suspended animation. When their leader is revived, the crew come face to face with Khan, a charismatic but mysterious figure whose true identity and intentions threaten not just the Enterprise, but the future of humanity itself. This is classic Star Trek, a true standout from the show's first season, and a solid contender for one of the best episodes of the entire series. It's a great episode, even without the existence of The Wrath of Khan, the feature-length sequel which undeniably saved the franchise as we know it, and is almost universally considered the best Star Trek film by quite some way. The Wrath of Khan might have cemented Khan's place as one of Star Trek's all-time greatest villains, but it all began here with Spacey planting the, well, seeds for all the fun to come. And let's start with the obvious, shall we? Ricardo Montalban. What a performance this is. Easily one of the best guest star performances, not just of the original series, but I think it's up there, an obvious contender for the best of any to come in any Trek show or movie since. He makes his acting thing look pretty easy. His portrayal of Khan Noonien Singh comes with so much charismatic charm and dangerous intensity, you can pretty much feel it radiate out of the screen. He owns this episode from his first moments on screen. From the moment he's revived, it's clear we're watching a powerful man who commands every room he enters. Montalban effortlessly sells the idea that Khan could charm, intimidate, and ultimately power anyone he encounters. And look, yeah, let's address the casting issue, which is pretty questionable when viewed through a modern lens. It doesn't really work today, does it? Montalban, a Mexican actor playing a character of Indian heritage. But, judged through the time in which it was made, Montalban still finds a way to make this work. It's a performance that positively crackles with presence and authority. And in any case, not that this necessarily makes it right, it's still fucking light years better than what they tried to do in Into Darkness. What elevates Space Seed beyond its fantastic central villain, though, is how it deepens the existing universe. The introduction of the eugenics wars and humanity's experimentation with genetic engineering are interesting concepts that adds more backstory to Earth's 20th century history, adding further weight to the idea that we've been through some pretty heavy shit to get to this utopian future that we'd all love to live in. The episode doesn't spend much time fleshing any of this out, but it's just the right amount of detail that adds weight without bogging things down. Something else I really like about the episode is the dynamic between Khan and Lieutenant MacGyver's, which is surprisingly complex. MacGyver's infatuation with Khan, while signposted almost immediately, works pretty well. It's a believable development. The ship's historian, already obsessed with powerful leaders from the past, behaves pretty much as you'd expect when coming into contact with a man who literally embodies everything she's romanticised. And mate, doesn't Khan take advantage of this? Montalban's acting, as mentioned, sells it, but the writing is also strong in this aspect, with the two forming a pretty unhealthy relationship that comes with all the manipulation and power dynamics you'd expect. The episode doesn't shy away from showing some of the nastier stuff either, with more than one scene showing Khan literally and figuratively bending MacGyver's will to his own. It can be quite difficult to watch at times, but it works quite well, not only as a way to reinforce Khan's power and more villainous side, but also as a way to give MacGyver some more believable internal conflict that only adds to the drama. Elsewhere, the episode is peppered with smaller character moments and interactions that stand out. Interactions between Kirk, Spock and McCoy, just things like casual chatter and early banter, is on point, giving the feeling that their chemistry is now pretty much set in stone. We also get the memorable line from Spock that insufficient facts always invite danger, a gem of a line which is unfortunately more relevant than ever and should probably flash on screen when anyone ever tries to access the internet. I also really like that scene with Khan and McCoy in sickbay where Khan pretends to be asleep before surprising Bones with a scalpel to the neck. It's a great moment for a few reasons. Montalban is excellent, as already mentioned, with this being the first time we properly see Khan's intensity and sense of danger. DeForest Kelly's reaction to the whole thing is also pretty great and adds some coolness to the character that would pretty much stay in place for the rest of the show. I also really like the sound design of this scene, the way the music suddenly cuts out, replaced with the thumping beeps of the biobed, which I think works really well to ramp up the tension of the moment. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it works pretty well, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say this was by design. Another standout character moment that I never really see anyone talking about is Uhura and the way she interacts with Khan and his crew as they take over the Enterprise. It's a very brief moment, almost a blink and you'll miss it one, but the way she silently defies Khan's men, even after one of them strikes her, makes for a very dramatic moment that not only underscores the crew's togetherness, but also serves as a great individual moment for Nichelle Nichols. It's probably her finest moment on the show up until this point, although that's not really saying much given the fact that she hasn't really had much to do so far. But as good as Space Heat is, as classic an episode as it is, it's still got some problems. Not everything works here. The back third of the episode is really where the problems begin. It's where some of the cracks start to show. After all the careful build and all the character development and mystery and intrigue, the episode explodes into action in its final acts. Things move very, very quickly from this moment. Khan escapes the Enterprise, beams over to the Botany Bay, wakes his followers, beams back, and then begins to take over the Enterprise by suffocating the crew in what feels like about 2 minutes. Just as quick too is how the crew fight back, with MacGyver saving Kirk from that horrible looking compression chamber, who then floods the ship with gas, which then leads to the big climactic fight scene with Khan in engineering. All this just happens far too quickly, just way too quick. It's rushed. I also have issues with how quickly and easily the augments are taken out. As a single hypo spray, really? Is it really that easy to take out these genetic superhumans? I don't know, maybe they were still thawing out or something. In a similar way, the fight scene between Khan and Kirk doesn't really work for me. Another fist fight in engineering just feels like a tacked on studio mandate, but the way Kirk wins by just beating Khan with a pipe a few times doesn't really work considering everything the episode has done to build Khan as a threat. It's all just a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? A way more satisfying resolution to all this would have been Kirk using his superior knowledge of the ship to neutralise Khan. A site-to-site transport to the brig might have worked really well, even if that does feel a little bit too advanced for the show at this point. Actually, do you know what? I know what would have worked. Kirk overloads the terminal in engineering and tricks Khan, pretending to surrender and offering to show Khan how some ship functions work, before triggering an explosion in that terminal, having the thing go off in Khan's face. That's how you do it. Kirk wins by outsmarting Khan with superior experience. This would have worked so much better and would have deepened those mental battles that we'd see in the Wrath of Khan. In any case, these are all just nitpicks in what is an otherwise excellent hour of Star Trek. Space Seed is a great, dramatically rich episode that combines all the things needed to make a good episode great. Solid sci-fi ideas, fascinating character-driven action, strong world building, moral complexity, and some action to make it all pop. It doesn't need The Wrath of Khan to be a classic. I think the episode more than stands on its own merits, but the fact that it seeded one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time is just the icing on the cake. I'm giving Space Seed an 8 out of 10. It's closer to a 9 than a 7. But what did you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? How would you rate it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more Star Trek reviews, and until next time, live long and prosper.